Freddy or Jason? Michael Myers. We all like to watch a good scary movie every now and again. We as humans, we enjoy fear. We enjoy being scared, getting frightened every now and again and not being able to sleep for a week or two. It's just part of who we are. A healthy dosage of fear is actually good for your mental and physical health, research says. But there's a difference between slasher movies and horror movies. Let me break it down for you. Slasher movies are the ones that are generally more grotesque and bloody and violent, like Friday the 13th, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween. Those are slasher movies. Horror is more like The Exorcist, Poltergeist, The Shining, The Woman in Black. Those movies that scare the living shit out of you without actually having to use graphic violence to do it. Slasher movies, they achieve the same effect with the exact opposite reasoning. They use violence to scare you into not sleeping for about a month. Now, me personally, I prefer the supernatural horror, the horror where there's not that much violence involved, because I can't watch too much violence. I can't stomach it really well. I get really nervous and, I don't know, I almost faint. Make fun of me if you will. So I can't really watch slasher movies. I enjoy the remakes of classic slasher movies like the ones I mentioned before. Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street were actually pretty watchable. Halloween, not so much. The second one was even worse. And the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Alexandra Daddario, I think that's how you say her name, the girl who did Percy Jackson, it was actually pretty good. Still pretty grotesque though. And the same remakes of classic horror movies, like the ones I mentioned before, they were really good. I really enjoyed the remake of The Woman in Black with Daniel Radcliffe. And I haven't watched the remake of Poltergeist. There hasn't been a remake of The Shining, and not yet one of The Exorcist. I actually tried to watch the original Exorcist, but I fell asleep during it. For some reason, it didn't scare me at all, and I get scared really easily when it comes to movies. I'm more particularly into the supernatural, psychological suspense thing, like Paranormal Activity, movies like that. The entire saga is pretty fluid, and except towards the end where it starts getting really crappy, they start pulling the mythology out of their asses, and it just becomes ridiculous. I don't like violent movies. I don't like movies that are too violent. There's too much depiction of graphic violence on screen. I just can't sit through any of those films. But I do enjoy horror. I like feeling fear. I like the suspense that you get from watching a movie and you think something's about to happen, but then something doesn't, or something does and you get a jump scare and it just gets right under your skin. It just crawls under you. I love that feeling. I think many people do too. But I can't watch too many slasher films. I just can't. There's just too much violence, and film series like A Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, they have a whole ton of movies, of sequels, remakes, reboots, prequels, a whole bunch of crap, and it's just crazy. I'd much rather watch horror, That's just my opinion. That's like the main difference between both of them, and that's pretty much all I can say. And well, here's to it. Do lock your doors tonight, though.